Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Season 2. I wear assless chaps.
There, are you happy? I said it, Mr. Big Cheese. Now will you keep me on for the remainder of the show?
In last week's episode, Max apologized to Magnus and Flipper for being a big baby douche. While Callus slept, they reluctantly forgave him for some reason, and then they all went on their merry way to their final destination, the capital city of Galavandriel. After several hours of walking, Callus woke up, kicked Magnus in the nuts. Yes, Magnus this time, not Max. He actually got a break. And from there, they all had a mild chuckle, and then after that, Flipper said, "Hey, Max, can we talk about another show of yours?" And Max said, "Sure, let's talk about this one." And they brought up a show from the mid-90s called Friends. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, well, I don't know what to say. And then from there, they walked and talked about that show, and then they made it to the capital city, and Max thought, that is pretty pristine. But guess what? That's not real, is it? And then Magnus said, "No, you dumbass, it's not." Then from there, they were like, how can we, successfully infiltrate this? And then Callus said, "Let's storm the castle." But then Flipper said, "No, let's play D&D. And then everyone was like, ah. So after that, Flipper briefly described what character sheets was, dice rolling, stats, proficiencies, and what have you. And Max and Callus weirdly got the best rolls. Magnus got the lowest and turned into a big baby curled into the fetal position, rolling around like a big, baby. And Flipper flipped out. After that, they made it into the city by just paying a total of 5 gold. And the gods were like, "Sure, you can come in." And then they all went splitsville, and, now everyone's on their own. We are now on episode 19. Hot damn, we're on episode 19. This is getting riveting. Mission Impossible. Okay, now Tom Cruise has to come. It literally is his best movie ever. Well, best movie series ever. Shut up, you know what I mean. Left alone in enemy territory, Max is forced to make his own way to the king's castle, while his party gallivants through the capital city, scheming of their own infiltration plans. Oddly enough, there are only 4 ways that lead to the king's castle. The main road that goes from the front gates, through the lively city with many wondrous views and notable landmarks, and ends directly in front of the castle. The rooftops, which provides a nice bird's-eye view, as well as a quicker route to many alternative ways to get to and infiltrate the king's castle. Then there's the castle walls and the towers, where many guards are posted. It's a great strategic point for one to oversee their team's movement, but doesn't offer much help beyond spotting and callouts. Lastly, there's the parade route, where there are many floats traveling down during times of celebrations or parades. I don't know what else to say. And it just so happens that on this day, go figure, that the same day that Max and his party, again, go figure, made it to the capital city to begin their assault. Go figure.
Wow.
Each party member goes their separate ways, because why else would I explain the only 4 main routes to the castle and encounter many obstacles?
Whoa.
Max takes the main road and is greeted by cheerful folks with smiles and happy faces to see a guest in their city.
Hi there.
He smiles and nods and waves back at them, having a pleasant time.
Ah, you're all so nice.
The complete opposite of what he was expecting. He continues to travel up the road and stops with a fountain I mentioned near at the end of the last episode. What? You don't remember? Well, how about you go watch the last episode, you poo-poo heads? This one! See? This one! I swear I mentioned it near the end of the last one. Ugh, never mind. Max goes to the fountain and admires it and takes a short rest while he's there. On the west side of the city, along the castle walls, our elderly friend Callus makes it up the stairs, almost keeling over from a heart attack. Once he recovered his strength and stamina, Callus walks along the castle's west wall and follows the sound of the fireworks as they are set off closer to the back of the end. With his mind set on his plan to do something explosive with the fireworks, Callus's mischievous smile returns as he makes his way over to the southwest tower where the fireworks are. While Callus sets out to continue with his plan, and Max resting for a little while longer, Magnus rolls up the parade route and ends up rolling into a float. He rolls into a dark and echoey float on wheels and is stopped by bumping into a wall. When he is stopped, Magnus slowly uncurls, stops sucking his thumb, and leaves the fetal position to have a heart-to-heart chat with himself. Come on, Magnus, snap out of it. Who cares if you can't be sneaky? It's not like your life depends on it. Besides, you even said it yourself. Why go around a mountain when I can just simply move it? The very short pep talk seems to have raised Magnus's spirits, and steadily he returns to his annoying, prideful self. There's the big annoying lug we all know and love. He smiles and looks for the exit, feeling better about himself. But just as he was about to leave, the door to the float slams shut, and he's locked in. He hears muffled voices talking outside and tries to get their attention.
Hello? There's someone in here.
Unfortunately for Magnus, the popping and blasting of the fireworks drowns out his knocks. He shrugs and goes to plan B. I wonder what that is. He takes a couple of steps back and readies to shoulder charge his way out. That's what I was thinking, but you never know with the story. One minute it's like, he's gonna do the obvious, the next minute, a chandelier falls and says, yippee, or something. Anywho, as Magnus was ready to charge, the float shook for a moment and then proceeded to move slowly. This obviously breaks Magnus from his charging stance and causes him to look around to see that he is trapped in the monument. Monument? I thought it was a float. Whatever, you know what it meant. Poor writing, not my fault, I'm just the narrator. While Magnus tries to figure out what to do next, let us move on to our last member, who went rogue and is jumping around the eastern rooftops like an assassin. You know what reference I'm making here now, don't you? Flipper draped himself in a cloak and hood to cover himself and dashes over the little crevices between the roofs. He jumps and slides and rolls in whatever maneuverable words that I can't think of at the moment. I'm cool. Although doing all those mentioned above, Flipper isn't as slick as he thinks he is. He's bumping into or knocking over plant pots, old debris, and kicking up dust, leaving a very traceable trail. Not to mention, every time he jumps, he has to land, obviously, and when he does, he isn't quiet. In fact, it's as loud as you'd expect. Just a big frog going thump, thump, thump. Naturally, this annoys all the citizens, causing them to report the commotion to the guards. Now back to the western side of the city, to Callus, who is on one of the castle walls, playing the old senile fool to trick the guards.
Where's the radish fields? Remember when Daisy pudding was a thing?
The guards try to get him to leave, but get fed up with his elderliness and leave him be. When they leave, he smiles at them and hobbles along. But once out of sight, he returns to his less than senile state and hobbles slightly faster to the western tower. When he gets there, he sees the door to the tower is left open. He enters freely, only to be met with his old nemesis. Stairs!
We meet again, my old arch-nemesis.
Determined to see his plan through, Callus pulls up his robe and starts going up the spiral stone staircase. After about 45 minutes, I want to say, he reaches the end of the 30 steps from hell and gets to the top. Once there, he sees a lone guard periodically lighting and releasing fireworks. Callus waits for the right moment to strike. He waits for the next firework to blast off and pop over and pop to cover the sound of his hobbling as he sneaks over to the guard. And somehow, he managed to sneak behind the guard and knock him out in one swift blow with his staff. I don't even know how he did it, but something tells me that he might have rolled a natural 20 in order to pull this off. With the fireworks now secured and in his hands, Callus begins preparations for the next part of his plan by storing them in his bag of holding. While he takes his time with that, let's go and see what kind of pickle Magnus has gotten himself into. With the float now moving and his only way shut and locked, Magnus is essentially trapped in a moving prison. He moves along with it, avoiding getting run over or getting his toes crushed. Ouch, that would be painful. Luckily, the float is large enough inside to contain someone of his size, but with nothing to do. He grunts as he grows bored really quick, but that soon ends as the float stops for a moment. Before it moves again, the wooden interior shuffles a little as the wheels of the float turn left. Magnus looks around to see the wheels turn, and shortly after the float moves and turns in the direction of the wheels. He examines where the wheels are connected throughout the structure and sees a large gear in the middle slowly turn as the wheels straighten out. As the float continues to move, so does the gear, but Magnus is intrigued and wonders if he fiddles with the gear, will it move the direction of the wheels? Well, duh, that's how gears work, stupid. What does this do? He grabs the gear and slowly turns right, and the wheels turn right.
Turns.
He smiles and then slightly
this.
turns left, and the wheels turn left.
It turns.
Go figure! He's like a child that figured out what shapes does.
I think this little doohickey over here is the thing that controls the direction of which this thing goes.
He keeps doing that for a little bit, having fun.
Let's have fun with it.
To him, he's controlling the float, but to the viewers on the outside on the parade route, they're seeing a swervety float and are both confused and concerned.
Whee!
Back on the eastern rooftops, Flipper has attracted some unwanted tension. A couple of guards climb to the rooftops and start to chase after him.
Oh, blasted guards. They'll never catch me, for I'm Flipper, the dapper frog. Or rather, I was. But now I'm Flipper, the sly frog. Huzzah!
With his athletic agility, Flipper runs, jumps, dashes, etc., you get it, and keeps ahead of the guards. He eventually loses them, go figure, and makes it to Midtown, where the roofs are higher. He sees that he has to jump or somehow find his way up to the new set of rooftops. So at first, he tries to jump using his frog hind legs, but can't make it past the first window.
Dang it! I've been walking with my legs straight for too long that I forgot how to jump like a frog normally would. But wait! I have another idea.
Flipper springs into action once again as he comes up with another idea. He opens his mouth a little and fires his tongue out at the wall. It splats onto the wall and sticks, but only for a few seconds. Flipper is naturally confused, as am I, as he tries again, but in a different spot. He darts his tongue out and it sticks, but again for only a few seconds. What the heck is going on? After many failed attempts, Flipper recedes his tongue.
Must be an anti-sticking material used to deter bugs. Crafty humans. I guess that just leaves me with option number 3.
He opens his webbed hands and runs at the building.
There goes nothing.
When he hits the wall, he places his hands and underbelly against the wall, which allows him to stick for a little longer than his tongue. He smiles and climbs up a little, but struggles? I guess with the anti-sticking material, he can climb up, but only to slide down a few seconds later. It's like he's in an endless loop of failure. Whatever, let's go see what Max is up to on the main road. In the middle of the festivities that the town is throwing for some event, Max is in the heat of it, having a grand old time. Good show, Max. It's about time you had something good happen for you. Free food and drinks for the first-timers like himself. He's having happy and warm conversations with all the townsfolk in and around the capital city. He seems to be getting along with them because, well, he's being escorted through the crowds with ease, while also being given lots and lots of free gifts. Ooh. If there's a necklace, Max, please save it for me. I want to have a souvenir when I'm done. Despite being in enemy territory, Max can't help but smile and enjoy the good times while it lasts. Smart man. Wish I could say the same for the others, but since they all took their own way, they each seem to be experiencing difficulties of their own. Magnus, for example, has gotten used to controlling the float and taking control of it, and has gone off course. Instead of following the parade route that he was supposed to, he went down his own path. I swear I just said that already. The complete opposite direction of the parade route. Oh, I missed that part. The road narrows and citizens rush to get out of the way while he clumsily maneuvers it through the street. Despite his best efforts, it looks like it was all in vain as he hits Midtown and runs into the same trouble as Flipper, the bigger buildings. Speaking of Flipper, it would seem that he is stuck in an infinite loop of him climbing 2 to 3 inches and then falling back down to the same spot he originally was. He grows restless and impatient and rests for a little, but suddenly a loud bang erupts near him and causes the side of the building to shake, causing him to slide and fall. He cries out in fear as he falls, possibly to his death. However, he falls through an awning to slow down, as well as catch him to flip over and face downward, where he crashes into a large wooden display of some sort.
Oh!
When he comes to, he sees Callus's big, burly back as he's controlling the float.
What the heck was that? Flipper! What the heck are you doing here?
Flipper gets up to see that he is stuck in the float with Magnus.
Oh, Magnus, it's you! You have to turn this thing around and follow the parade route. I saw from above, its roads are wide enough for this thing.
I've been trying to, but controlling this thing isn't easy, even for someone with the likes of me.
Never mind that attitude. Let me help you.
Oh, okay, come on. Flipper jumps over Magnus and helps him turn the gear to turn the float. Together, they manage to pull the float out and back on the parade route where they will make it down Midtown. Speaking of Midtown, Max seems to follow the same route of parade, but is ahead and takes advantage of the stunning sculptures that are all over the area. He is left speechless of the very, very accurate cuts and chiseling of the sculptures and spends some time there admiring their beauty. While Max is doing that, and both Magnus and Flipper circumnavigate the parade, Callus starts to set things in motion, but he gets interrupted. He was looking at all the fireworks he got a hold of, but just as he's about to leave, another guard comes up and shouts out at him. "Oi, what are you doing up here? Lollygagging? I've heard reports and complaints of a lack of fireworks. Get back to work. Your next station is the Central Tower, where Midtown begins." Callus hides his face, but reports back to the guard as he keeps a cover.
Yes, sir. Is there a faster way across? I don't think I'll be able to make it there in time, sir.
You're joking, right? Just use the zip line. It's the fastest way to the Central Tower from here. Now get to it.
Oh, right. Thank you, sir.
The guard leaves and Callus readies the zip line. A large piece of wood erects from the edge of the tower, and from the top, a harpoon drops and is aimed at the Central Tower. Not knowing what to do next, Callus whacks the side of the zip line and it fires. It hurls across to the Central Tower and pins in place. Callus smiles, climbs the ledge, and uses his staff as a handle before traversing across. Shortly after getting ready, he launches himself across the zipline and screams out in joy. As he soars across the sky, the wind blows in his face, and he enjoys every minute of not knowing that his robe is being blown open, exposing his underwear to the public. Wow, that is very cartoony. As he enjoys the ride, Callus had neglected to aim the harpoon line properly, so the line droops as he weighs down onto it, eventually causing him to stop in the middle and right over the parade route, helpless. He looks around to see if there's anything he can do, but there isn't much. He sighs and hangs. That is until a gentle breeze comes by and causes him to sneeze, lose his grip, and fall. He falls and crashes through a float. The citizens cheer, laugh, and enjoy the show, thinking it's staged, but nope. Callus quickly recovers a little while later to see Flipper and Magnus are in front of him. Huh? Oh, it's the old man!
Where am I? Flipper? Magnus, is that you? What the hell are you two doing here? Wait, where am I? Did I die?
No, you're just in hell with us.
Oh, so I did die.
No, Callus, you are just stuck in the float like Magnus and I. The door's locked and Magnus is stuck operating this confounded thing. Help me find a way out of here.
Okay.
Callus gets up to investigate the structure to see that it's all wooden. He also sees a large opening made from when he fell in, but another irregular pattern that looks similar to Flipper's body, except he is shaped differently. Well, duh, he's a frog man. Probably got his bulging cheeks going out.
I could burn this place down if you want. It is made of wood after all.
No! We'd be cooked like a lobster if you did that!
He's right, Callus. Best not use magic. Instead, I'll see if I can cut our way out.
Flipper pulls out his rapier and does a vibrant of thrusts, swipes, jabs, and swings at the two front corners of the float. He manages to cut the float, reshaping it a little, making it look a little more rounded, but alas, it does not fully cut through.
Well, that's a shame. I think I'm out of ideas.
Don't say that! We're now entering Uptown, nearing the King's Castle. We need to get out of this thing in order to fight the King.
I think I may have an idea, but it might take some time. Bear with me, fellas.
While the three work together to finally escape the float, Max has already been to Uptown and nears the King's Castle. He walks to the end of the road and is on a brick driveway that leads up to the castle doors. He walks and looks around, but hurries as he hears the parade slowly near him. He first tries the most obvious way, by knocking on the front door. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, right? No, there's nothing against manners, now is there? No answer, thankfully.
No? Okay.
He then tries to open it, but it's locked. Nope, it's locked. He then takes a few steps back to see if there's any alternative ways of getting inside. Sadly, it looks like there's only one way in or out, through the front door.
There wouldn't be a sunroof now, would there?
But unwilling to give up, he is so close to the end of his journey, Max starts to think of other ways. What about digging under? Would that work? While this is happening, Flipper helps Magnus setting up his escape plan. Magnus ripped a piece of wood out and handed to Flipper. Flipper gives the piece of wood to Callus. With the piece of wood, Callus ties the fireworks together at the end. When he finishes tying and wrapping, Callus gets ready to light it.
Look at this thing. I call it the Giga Mega Blast Stick.
Oh,
Cool.
wow, quite ingenious, Callus.
Callus conjures a small flame.
Small flame?
Wait, Callus, don't light it yet!
Why not?
Where are you going to fire that thing?
I don't know. Maybe through the hole up there? It should blast through it and create an even bigger opening for us to escape from.
A novel idea once again, Callus. Bravo!
All right, then it's settled. Just make sure you get it through the hole, or else we're going to end up like tomorrow's lunch. Not paying attention, Callus accidentally lights the fuse for the fireworks.
Lobster bisque?
Ooh, I do like lobster bisque.
Can't say I'm a fan of lobster bisque. I'm more of a clam chowder fan. Wait, did you light that thing already? The three look at the fuse shorten and burn as the spark nears the end.
Get it!
And they all
Oh, no.
panic!
Oh.
Callus tries to lift the Giga Mega Plastic, but he's too old, so Flipper steps in to help. They barely angle it up as it blasts off! It fires
look
past
out.
Magnus, grazing the back of his head,
Oh.
and bursts through the opening and flies out towards the castle doors. Max, who is still there thinking of a way to get in, hears the whirling sound of multiple fireworks whizzing by. What is that whizzing sound? It darts right at him, and he ducks and watches it fly towards the door of the king's castle, blowing it up for him. Huh. I never thought of explosions. Maybe Callus was onto something when he saw those fireworks. Good job, Callus. He gets up and looks to see that a trail of smoke that came from down the road up to the door, and shrugs, then goes towards the smoke that covers the blasted door. He walks through the smoke and steps into the throne room of the castle. Well, it's the only friggin' room in the castle. It's literally the size of my basement. From Max's view, it looks like there's only one room in the entire castle. Quite sad.
Is this all to it?
Yeah.
The castle is just a throne.
From the back of the room rests the throne, and it appears that someone is sitting in it. Max pauses and looks up as he stares face to face with the evil king.
Oh my god.
He has finally come to terms with the big bad. We meet at last, Max Dougal. And that is the end of this episode, folks. I'm going to keep this brief because you've heard my ranting, raving voice for 20 to 30 minutes now. We are now nearing the end. Get your popcorn ready, get your Strambolis, as Donkey would say. If you don't know who that is, you're missing on quality YouTubing. And get a nice bottle of pop. It's going to get real hot and steamy in here. Good night.